Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday, and not just any Friday. No. This is the first Friday of 2023, and I wanted to start doing something a little different. This is what I'm going to be calling the weekly wrap-up, a video that we launch on the channel every week, talking about whatever the biggest gaming news-related thing is of that week. And this week, relatively light, not a lot happened to start off the new year, but we did get some information about Starfield update, and I really want to talk about it. So without further ado, let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and a happy new year. This is the first week of January, and I wanted to start something different. I wanted to do something new where we can talk about some of the latest things happening with gaming news once a week. So every Friday, I'm thinking of posting a video where I kind of do a discussion video talking about whatever the latest thing is that happens in gaming. Now, given the fact that this is the first week of January, you can't really expect anything major to have happened. But one big thing did occur that I wanted to talk about, and that is the fact that Starfield's support page has officially gone live. Now, I wanted to talk about Starfield because a couple weeks ago, I did make a video asking Microsoft a very important question. Where are the games? And I wanted to kind of double down on that, not to really just crap all over Xbox, but as an opportunity to keep you guys up to date as an Xbox fan myself and someone who does care about the success of Microsoft and the Xbox platform. I want to see these games just as much as anybody. And so I wanted to share this bit of news. I found this to be the biggest thing that happened this week. But I'm sure you're wondering, what does that mean? I think it means a couple of things. One of the important things that we have to keep in mind is that the support page going live means that we are one step closer to the official launch of Starfield. However, the important question still remains. When the hell does Starfield even come out? And according to Microsoft and Xbox, we got confirmation that Starfield is on track to release as scheduled in the first half of 2023. The first half of 2023. Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. I'm sure that you guys have, but we're in January of 2023, and we still don't have a release date for what is supposed to be Xbox's new golden child. Starfield has been touted for a long time, a couple of years now, to be this big kind of IP that Xbox has been working on in Bethesda for a long time, and we've seen very little gameplay about it. And I personally know very little about this game other than the fact that it's going to have a bajillion planets for us to visit, which just, I don't know about you, fills my anxiety to the roof. So that's really the big news that happened this week, and I want to jump on this Starfield topic because I think it's important for us to kind of mention and also speculate when this game could potentially come out and kind of what timeline Microsoft is up against. Now, I'm sure you guys don't need me speculating about when this game could possibly come out, but I think it's important for us to talk about this because when we think about it, there really is a very strict timeline that Bethesda and Microsoft are on. Now, if they want to continue with this narrative that their game is going to release in the first half of 2023, when we look at the bigger picture here, that really doesn't leave them with a lot of time. Now, given the fact that we didn't get any sort of information at the Game Awards, and now we're in January, and the conversation still exists that this game is supposed to be coming out in the first half, that means that we have between now and June before this game has to release. Now, granted, it's possible that they could potentially, let's just say March of this year, give a release date and say that this game is going to be launching in the summer. I could totally see that happening. That a trailer drops this coming February, March, whatever, that gives kind of a new trailer for Starfield, and at the very end of it, we get a release date, a launch date. But I also feel like that is a terrible strategy for a game that people know very little about and a game that Microsoft is banking so heavily on. When we look at Microsoft's reputation, specifically the Xbox Series X, there really aren't very many games that Xbox has dropped since this new console has released. When we look at it, what do we honestly have? The new Forza game? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Halo Infinite? Yeah, all right. But like since then, we haven't really seen much. And the two biggest games that I think a lot of people are talking about and anticipating is that of Starfield and Redfall, two games that are supposed to be coming out this year, but two games, ironically enough, that people know very little about, including a release date. When you look at the fact that they're saying that this game is going to release in the first half of this year, ironically or ideally by June, I would expect that they would want to start getting marketing out for this game as soon as possible. In fact, in a perfect world, I think if they were really trying to make sure that people had Starfield in their minds, they would have wanted to have given a release date by the Game Awards of 2022. By that time, December, if they were going to release this game in the summer, I think they would have wanted to get that in people's minds early, unless they don't know if it's going to be ready. That is the only reason I could think of that that this game is that they've said is supposed to come out in the first half still doesn't have a concrete release date. The only thing that would make me believe that they don't have a concrete release date is the fact that they don't want to put the expectation in people's minds and on themselves that this game is going to be ready. And just in case they might have some issue, they might discover something and have to push it back. That's the only thing I could think of. And while I think it's a wise strategy with other games that are supposed to be releasing between now and the first half, I would think that they would want to get the date in people's minds, because people are going to start planning financially. They're going to start looking at other games that they want to buy and put their time into. And it makes me wonder why would Microsoft continue to be waiting to give this release date? If we're looking at strong strategy here, like I said, I think that they would want to give a release date by the Game Awards, but given the fact that that hasn't happened yet, if your game is really set to launch in June or even before then, you might want to get a release date out as soon as possible. I can't imagine that at this point that game is releasing in March or April, because if that was the case, then they would want a trailer and a release date and getting people hyped and excited about this game yesterday. So that's why it leads me to believe that this game isn't going to be coming out until June at the latest. I really feel like they're going to wait until the last second, and I could very much see this being a summer release, this game launching in June or even before then, because they want to get it into people's hands before the summer really kicks off. If you're releasing a game in the middle of the summer, I think that's a bad strategy, because people are going on vacations, they're doing other things, and unless they already started playing that game in May, they might not be prioritizing playing it in the summer. So that's just my thinking on it. And when I think about this whole Starfield situation and the fact that this game is supposed to release in the first half, and yet we still don't have a release date, we still don't have gameplay, we still don't have really much of anything, and yet Aaron Greenberg comes out and says, you know, hey, just be patient with us. We've got some great games coming out this year. We've got a great year for Xbox. Where are these games? Because if you look at Nintendo's got some heavy hitters coming out this year, and they have been announced, and people know about these games. If you look at Sony has games that have been announced, and people are already anticipating and planning to play these games in 2023. And of course, this is like the first half, but if Starfield is really seeking to be competitive with some of these already major titles like Resident Evil 4, a Dead Space remake, and let me mention a big one, Breath of the Wild 2, if you're trying to be competitive with these games, one would think you would want to have that date announced like as soon as possible. But I don't know. It's just one of those moments where you think about it and you can't help but question the strategists behind Xbox's plan and why for some reason they just don't seem to have a concrete idea for how they plan to do these things. So let's say if they came out by the end of this month and gave a release date for summer, then I'd say, okay, you got out ahead of it 4 months ahead, 4 or 5 months ahead of time to get people excited for this game. I'd say, okay, but if they're waiting until February or March to give a date for this game, I would argue that it potentially is too late. I really do, unless they're trying to play on some sort of FOMO thing and drop the release date a month out before the game. I would too say that it is a terrible strategy. Again, I don't really know what Microsoft is doing. I just wanted to pass along that update for Starfield, that the support page has gone live, indicates some sort of forward progression for this game, that it is still on track to release. But I think that if they're really planning on a summer release for this game, that they really want to get a gameplay trailer, a launch date, or some sort of hype video out as soon as possible. Otherwise, I don't really know if people are going to have Starfield at the top of their list. That's just my opinion. But let me know down in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this? I'm very excited to see kind of how this whole thing plans out. I really want Starfield to be successful, which is why I'm kind of frustrated that it seems that they're dragging their feet on what is supposed to be the next coming of Jesus for Xbox. Like, this is supposed to be, or at least how Xbox has touted it to be, the next big thing for their console. Xbox exclusive game, deep space, sci-fi, exploration, adventure game, and yet people still know very little about it. But let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think about this? Do you think that this game is still going to launch on time, or do you potentially see it being delayed yet again? I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. As always, I'm going to continue doing videos like this every Friday, so if you haven't subscribed, do so. Like this video if you did enjoy. I would love to know if you guys want to see more videos like this. Some of these weeks will have multiple discussions about multiple different games that I'm excited to share with you guys, but this week obviously being a lighter one, really Starfield was the big thing that I wanted to discuss to start out the year, because I think it is a game that Xbox is putting a lot of pressure on, and I think there's a lot riding on this for not only Starfield, but for Xbox as an entire system, as a brand. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think that this game is still on track? Are you still looking forward to it? Let me know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, and as always, my name is That Guy Rye. Hope to see you in the next video.